Hi, I'm Arth, and this is Terraria, a 2D survival mining and crafting game where you progress by crafting new sets, taking out bosses, and generally having a fun time. Every single ounce of this game is fun. You can either start your character off going through, say, overworld exploration, collecting chests, collecting unique items, and just scoping out the entire lay of the planet while progressing your character. You may also mine and craft and generally do what you want to progress your character to the next stage, at which point you have to take out a boss that you will either find out how to summon, or you will find that boss through the world. Like that boss can show up, and then from there you have to find out how to find each and every boss and take that boss out, progress your gear, and continue that gameplay loop. Every single boss, well, not every single boss, but most bosses have a gameplay loop, like the repetitive gameplay loop associated with them, of collecting sets. There are several different areas, such as ice areas, corruption areas, there are deserts, and each and every one has a set of enemies and drops associated with them, allowing you to create and progress your character in a unique way. Such as in the ice area, you can get snowballs off of snow and ice, and then you can throw snowballs to damage enemies. The corruption areas are quite dangerous and can end up consuming your world if you don't handle them appropriately, and there are just a ton of things to do. With world generation being randomized, cave systems can be completely different every single time you play. Now this is a great thing and a bad thing because there are unique loot drops in certain map generations. For example, you can have several items that you would like to have that will not generate in your world, like a sandstorm in a bottle, which is a unique drop that you can only find in the desert. It could not be in your world at all, and if you have multiple people on a small world, you may end up having to make multiple worlds, and that can end up being kind of frustrating. However, worlds will have different unique biomes and resources attributed to them as well. So for example, you could end up fighting completely unique bosses on your new world generation, which can make it more exciting to play new worlds depending on what you want to do, though you'll have to remake your entire base from scratch again, which can be kind of frustrating, so keep that in mind. There's also classes, like pseudo classes in the game as well. There is a summoner class, a mage class, a warrior class, and a ranger class, all of which are modified through equipment sets and accessories. Each character has 4 accessory slots that they can either use to customize and how would you put it? You would accessorize to specialize. That's what it is. You would specialize in a class, and you could end up becoming a full ranger or somewhat sort of a hybrid, though hybrids aren't as normally as effective as a main class would be. Those 4 slots will be used to do that, along with other utility items such as flying or seeing where monsters' locations are, other things like that. And while mining, there are a plethora of unique enemies with unique drops that can be found and hunted down that keep mining exciting. So that is not just the same old rigmarole of mining your way through the world, and it keeps the gameplay really fun, along with the fact that there are several biomes, which means that there can be new unique enemies in each and every one. Overall, Terraria is a really fun game, and its gameplay loop is great. One of the biggest problems that the game has is that in-game resources are kind of sparse, and items can be pretty well hidden. So you can either expect to play through multiple times over the course of multiple worlds to find everything that's in the game, especially through crafting, or you would end up having to use the community wiki to facilitate finding every single item that's in the game. There's also like not only unique items, but there are mods for this game that the community have created. However, there is no built-in mod resource system such as Steamworks in this game, and the mods will extend the life of this game. I have gotten probably about 300 hours out of this game on the base game. They keep adding free content, which is mind-blowing, including utility items like color palette items, items to make pretty houses out of your, your 2D experience, which is surprisingly rather deep. I would have expected to have not really many options, but there are quite a few options to make really nice, pretty houses if you have that creative mindset, and especially in a 2D space, like that's pretty impressive. And then on top of that, they're constantly releasing, and not by constantly, like maybe once or twice a year, they're releasing patches that add new content, new weapons, new items, and new bosses to the game. I'm not sure if there's going to be more after I heard rumors of another patch coming out, but what we have right now is enough. It's enough to warrant the price. Then we have upcoming like patches or mods that people are creating, and like I said, there's no mod loader in the game right now. You have to use a third-party mod loader, but the modding community is quite active and can increase the gameplay experience tenfold. There are a ton of not even full conversion mods, but item mods, some containing items upwards of 300 items, multiple bosses. It's just really sad that there's no inherent mod loading in this game, so to make it easy so that the community can get their content out there. And as you may have noticed, it's really easy with the use of certain hotkey commands to build houses in this game that I really appreciate. They added 2 hotkey modifiers such as Shift and Control. Shift lets you hold out the tool that the game believes is currently necessary. So if you don't have anything selected directly, you hold out a torch for lighting so that you don't have to have a torch in your hotbar, which I really appreciate. It helped out gameplay a bunch. And then there's the control hotkey, which lets you select between automatic and a manual and computer guided mouse control, which helps you do things like dig out exactly enough for a path, or dig out exactly enough to get down below, along with placing walls so that building and mining are less tedious, and I really appreciate that. That's something this game sorely needed on launch, and it has been added, and it feels great just going through and helping create these really nice looking buildings really fast. There are plenty of accessories to make it even faster, obtained through rare NPCs that will spawn throughout the game. And there's the added benefit of building up a community for NPCs. So you build them all houses, though usually people build what you call an NPC hotel. There's not really much reason to build outside of that. So usually you'll have one big block of NPCs, and they help protect each other and the area, though they're not really that effective at it. It's a nice little touch. Terraria is a really fun game, and the gameplay loop, combined with the fact that there are multiple classes, there are rare loots, makes the experience really fun. I would absolutely buy this game again at full price, on sale or otherwise, as it is really enjoyable and well designed and well balanced. Just before I end, I'm going to show off a little bit further into a game world where you can see a little bit more of how you can customize a house, And what's in there, though, a little bit of his modded content, so you will see NPCs that aren't representative of the game, but the buildings and the character is. Just give me 1 second, I will be right back. Alright, now, I'm back again. Again, this is a little bit of what you see. It's a little bit of mixture of the base game and a little bit of modded content. Some of these NPCs were created by the community. This is a little house that I made myself over the course of an hour and a half using rare materials from a vendor, and I'm quite proud of it. It looks really nice, and this is the basic house that we started with. As you can see, there's quite a few options, and there's a lot of NPCs that you can have, though again some of them are not represented in the base game but through the community. One last thing that I'm going to show off before I am out is I am going to show off a boss fight really quickly. It's the first boss fight that you'll run through in the game, so if you don't want to see it, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you didn't, by all means, leave me a dislike or a like. You know, it helps either way. It lets me know. But this is the spoilers for the very first boss in the game. It's going to get out some minions here because I'm currently playing a summoner a little bit later in the game, and pop out the very first boss of the game, which is the Eye of Cthulhu. And these bosses are generally quite difficult to beat, especially if you're just starting out, and they can really run you down fast and challenge you in many different ways. So this boss here, he tries to essentially slam into you constantly, and you have to keep moving in order to stay away from him, which I'm doing a very terrible job of doing. And then as you get him lower, he enters into yet another phase, which makes him even faster and harder to avoid. And there you go. That is the very first boss of the game. As you can see, quite tough. And the gameplay is fun the whole way through because bosses are quite challenging, rare enemies can be challenging, and there are plenty of bosses to fight in the base game and loaded content. So if you like this video, please let me know. If you want to, it would be very helpful if you could share this with friends who are interested in getting Terraria or looking into it. And if not, please let me know what I did wrong, because I want to do more of these in the future. For now, I'm going to peace out. Bye-bye.